Hi, welcome to my home kitchen. Finally, I'm shooting another YouTube video, and today thought I would show you how to make my favorite chocolate cake. This is a recipe that I grew up making as a little kid. My mom would let me mix all the ingredients together and lick all the spoons, and it's one of my favorites. So the first thing that we're going to do is get our wet ingredients melting on the stove. And in here I've got some butter that's just been cubed so that it melts quickly, and cocoa powder. And to that we're going to add some oil. So I'll just pour that in. And also some water. So just put all of that in, and you just want to put this over a medium to high heat until all the butter melts and the ingredients come together. In the meantime, I've got my oven preheating, so 180 degrees or 350 Fahrenheit. If you've got a fan forced oven, I would bring that down to 160 degrees, which is 325 Fahrenheit. So this is a really easy recipe to make. There's no mixer required or anything like that. You've got your dry ingredients all together in a bowl, and you're going to add your wet ingredients to that, and you mix and then pour it into the tin, and that's how easy this cake is, and it's delicious. So in here I've got my flour and salt, and I'm just going to whisk that together, and I've sifted this flour. So you want to do that to make sure that you don't have any lumps of flour through your cake. And into that I'm going to add my sugar. So we're just going to whisk this together, and what this will do is whisking the sugar with the flour will also help you not have any lumps in the cake. It sort of like breaks up the flour and coats it, so when you add your wet ingredients you won't have lumpy batter. Now the recipe that I've posted online for this cake is for a single cake. So I'm making 3 today because I'm going to be making a layer cake out of this. So my quantity is going to look a whole lot bigger than yours, but that's completely fine. All the methods are exactly the same. So just make sure that that sugar and that flour is completely combined. And we've got all our other ingredients set up in front of me here. We've got some baking soda and baking powder. We've also got 3 eggs, but you're going to only use 1. And I've put some vanilla bean extract with that. So we're just going to whisk those lightly. They don't have to be completely whipped up or anything like that, just so that the yolk's not separate from the white anymore. I've also got some buttermilk, and I've lined a cake tin, the base of it, with some baking paper, and I've buttered the edges. That's really important. You don't want your cake to stick. So now that that's all set out and ready, we're just going to check on the wet ingredients. And just give them the occasional stir until they're all melted and smooth and combined. So my wet ingredients have all combined together and started to boil a little bit, which is what you want. So they're really hot. So we're just going to make a well in the center of this dry mixture. And into that we're going to pour in all the wet ingredients. Now I totally should have used a bigger bowl for this, but I wanted you to be able to see the batter that I'm making, and this is my biggest glass bowl. So we're just going to slowly whisk this together, and this was my favourite job as a kid, adding all that chocolate into this flour and making it a batter that I could eat off the spoon. So I've whisked my batter until it's really nice and smooth, as you can see. And there's no lumps of flour or sugar or anything like that in there. And to this I'm going to add those eggs that we beat up earlier. So just pour that in and make sure you get all those little bits of vanilla. So we're just going to whisk that egg and baking powder and baking soda in until really well combined and you can't see it anymore. And we're pretty much there now. So to that we're going to add our final ingredient, which is our buttermilk. So pour all of that in and make sure you scrape any of those leftover bits in as well. Don't want to leave anything behind. And whisk that in gently until it's really nice and smooth. So everything's been whisked in really well now, and the batter is smooth and shiny, and there's no lumps of flour, which is exactly the way that you want it. So we're going to pour that into the cake tin, and we're going to bake it for about 35 minutes until the cake springs back when you touch it, or until a skewer inserted comes out clean. So our cake is baked and it's hot out of the oven, and if you have a look here, it's risen beautifully, and if you push down on it, it springs back, which means that it's ready. If you insert a skewer into that, it should come out clean as well. So we'll just let the cake cool down in its tin, and then we'll decorate it later on however you like. Happy baking!